We are here to break down the secrets behind two surprising shootings in Daredevil Born Again, Episode 8, Isle of Joy. If you missed the symbolism here, you're going to want to stick around because we think Vanessa is being cast as Eve, and this could be her origin story or it could be interpreted as her demise. So let's start analyzing the biggest shock. Spoiler alert, somebody gets shot at the Red Hook Gala by Bullseye. They set up hints throughout the entire episode that good men defend their worst enemies. And what do you know? Matt Murdock takes a bullet for Fisk. Surprising. So, guys, let's talk about this. I want to hear your reactions. Who was this bullet meant for? Do you think he was actually trying to save Fisk, or did he think he was, trying to save Heather there? Because Fisk and Heather were dancing. I've got some pictures here. It's kind of hard to tell. You can see Heather's not really in that frame there, or this one. I kind of thought, man, is Matt actually trying to save Fisk? What do you guys think?
I think he was.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's been struggling most of the season about crossing that line. Does he, should he cross that line? Should he be the bad guy? Should he let the bad guys die or let the bad guys kill each other and just stand to the side? And even when he went to see Poindexter, he pointed that out. He's like, a good man would defend his enemy. And, maybe between that, him dealing with Heather, everything like that, just at the last second he heard it and then popped in his mind, I'm supposed to be a good guy. What would Foggy do? Maybe
Yeah.
The sit down with Josie work, is brought him back to what he's supposed to be. Maybe just having that one drink.
Man, I didn't think about that, but maybe that is the moment that triggered it. Was that after he went to see Bullseye? Kind of having trouble. There's so much stuff this episode threw at us. It's hard to keep it straight.
Went from Bullseye straight to the gala, I thought.
Okay.
So that was beforehand, but still, it was being at that place of refuge, place of, his fortress of solitude, if you will. That's where they always hung out. Everyone knows him. That was that great scene from season 1 where Foggy's sitting there with forgot her name, the woman, Karen.
I thought he was sitting with Kirsten in episode 1.
Yeah, you're talking about the first episode.
I can't remember what episode, but when he's, she's like, do you feel safe here?
Oh, that's Karen.
Girl. Yeah. And he's just like, that's so-and-so and that's so-and-so.
Oh yeah, from season 1.
Yeah, that was their place. And him going back there after all these years, especially, that's where he saw Foggy get killed. He's back at home, and that could have awakened something inside of him. And it obviously pointed something out too when she broke out that whiskey, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah. It was interesting because there were all these hints, like when he's at the office, Matt had to defend a guy that he knew was lying. Like, I think right there, that's defending your enemy. So I almost think that was a little hint, because when he goes to talk to Bullseye, that's the same thing Bullseye says to him, like a good man defends his enemy. I thought that was really interesting because from a faith perspective, that probably would have resonated with Matt. So I was really surprised when he loses it and smashes Bullseye's face on the table.
Well, hasn't Matt said that before? That
I'm not sure.
A good man would defend his enemy. I was thinking I've heard that saying before, and that's why I thought it was interesting he said that.
Throwing his own words back at him?
I think so, yeah. I thought. It just seemed like it to me, but I could be wrong.
And I was also wondering when he took the bullet, if it wasn't just necessarily to save Fisk's life, but I think Matt would rather see Fisk in prison than dead. So it's like, I need him out, but that's not the way I want him to go. And that was
Sure.
kind of that's kind of what I thought. Like, I think the ultimate punishment for Fisk would be to go lose everything and go back to jail.
I lost you for a minute, but tell me what you said again.
Oh, I said, and part of me was also when I first watched it, and he was, he took the bullet. I was thinking that in Matt's view, the ultimate justice for Fisk would be to lose everything and have to go back to prison. It's like I need him gone, and I need him, but not that way.
That's interesting.
And be dead.
Mm-hmm.
Because that would be like the ultimate punishment for Fisk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I wondered if maybe there was something going on here with Vanessa, because
I think she hired Bull. I think she hired the assassination attempt.
That's what I thought. So, I wasn't sure if maybe Bullseye was going on a revenge tour, but like somebody, I think, was trying to break him out. At first, I thought Fisk was trying to pull Bullseye to the task force, because he goes into that other room and somebody greets him, says, "Hey, Agent Poindexter," and he brings what did they call that? The gap. He recruits.
When he went from solitary confinement into that's public.
Gen Pop.
It's general population.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to be like the evil Justice League or like the
Suicide Squad. It means general population, so it means he's just back in a normal prison where he has to interact with other inmates.
Okay, so that's why when Buck calls and says, "Please tell me Bullseye's dead," and then they tell him actually he escaped. So Fisk was trying to kill him. I don't know if Poindexter just broke out, or if Vanessa wanted to, put a hit on Fisk. Because, when she goes up to Heather and says, "Hey, we won't be needing your services anymore," I was like, well, is that because
Nathan froze? And now we have to come up with something to say because we have no idea what he was going to say.
We don't need your services anymore. Because she was planning on the problem being solved, taken care of.
Well, what I'm wondering is, was it Fisk that moved Poindexter? Because I don't remember that.
I'm frozen.
Oh, well, I can hear you now.
You're back, kind of. And you gone again.
I
think I don't know. I think he said, because Poindexter kept saying like, I'm not supposed to be here, and I'm supposed to be getting this trial. And I think the Fisk said, "No, we're not doing that. Put him in Gen Pop. See if somebody takes him out."
But I never heard Fisk say that. It was Cashman that made the call. So was Cashman making the call for Vanessa, for Fisk, for a third party we don't know of? Maybe he's working for the Swordsman. Who knows? There's, so they're doing a pretty good job doing this whole weave thing, because we don't know what's, who exactly is pulling the strings when it comes down to it. And, I know in the comic books, again, I'm just kind of reaching out, but there is a time where Matt gets disbarred, and he did just attack a prisoner in handcuffs. What if this whole thing was Fisk setting him up and knowing that he could make him crack at some point, and there was actually a camera in there or something like that? And, that's how it's going to end, is thank you for saving my life, but now you're disbarred, or something like that.
Yeah.
Interestingly, I know that Matt saved Fisk at the end, but like everything, like some of these bad decisions that Matt made throughout the episode did directly lead to Poindexter getting out, because like he had to go into the medical ward for the injuries, and then I guess he spit a tooth in the policeman's face. Here's the picture. So
nasty.
It looks like he took his own tooth and spit it at the guy, and then somehow got out of the restraints. But like that wouldn't have happened had Matt not snapped. And then second, I thought Heather was going to get shot because Matt is so interested and distracted by this case he's on that he leaves Heather to switch partners and confront Vanessa on a hunch that she ordered the hit on Foggy, right? But to do that, he leaves Heather dancing with Fisk. So I thought, oh no, he made another mistake that's going to come with a consequence. And instead, Fisk gets shot. But I thought, oh no, like, first of all, in other circumstances, as much of a monster as he thought Fisk was, there's no way that he would leave Heather dancing with him. But second, I swore that was going to lead to her getting shot. And I'm glad it didn't, because like I said last live stream, I did not want to see them go down the whole superhero cliche where every superhero has to be alone and everyone they date gets murdered.
Right.
Yeah. Well, in a way, he may have been I mean, not saying he trusts Fisk or anything like that, but I mean, she is their therapist. So there's obviously a little bit of trust between Fisk and her. So
yeah,
he probably thought like, well, he's not going to do anything to her here. I mean,
even though she didn't admit to being their therapist, he's
smart enough to know.
He must know by her answer.
Oh yeah.
Well, he's got the heartbeat thing that she doesn't know about.
Right.
He can hear whether or not she's like, well, she gave a neutral answer, but still, I think he knows.
I think he's smart enough to figure that out.
Yeah, I loved Matt's arc in this episode because you think he's losing it the whole episode, but in that final moment, you see, like, at the end of the day, losing it is just a stressful phase. He's still a hero if he really intended to save Fisk's life. So I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, it made an interesting wrinkle.
Yeah.
It threw away a lot of my theories, and it's like, okay, now I got to come up with 5 more that don't make any sense, only to me.
So it's still on the table, though, that Vanessa maybe tried to get Fisk assassinated because she's got the business grievances against him. I think she may have been ticked off about what he did to Adam. Because was it just me, or did she look scared? Like, do you think maybe she thought that she had to shoot Adam because of either what Fisk would do or fear that he would kill himself? Because he said, like, if he can't be with her, he can't be. I mean, you wonder what he would do if she had let Adam go. What do you think?
If she's the ultimate bad guy, if she's the one that is pulling the strings underneath and really trying to take over and everything, I think she killed Adam because Adam was a part of it. I think she was kind of seeing Adam, but Adam was helping her run this, or, he has some kind of connection or something like that. I think he was kind of a part of this, and he's been keeping his mouth shut because he's like, Vanessa will come back and rescue me, or, she's, we got a plan. And all of a sudden, Vanessa's stuck there between somebody who can talk and a psycho. So it's like, oh, here, I just kill him. And that way I don't have to worry about him talking anymore, and I'll just deal with the consequences after.
Yeah. Well, he definitely would have talked about Fisk, I'm sure. If
I think she's worried about him talking to Fisk about what their plan is. I think he was a part of it, and I think she still has this master plan to take out Fisk and take over everything.
Didn't she, in the last episode prior to this, didn't she send Luca to go kill Fisk?
Well, we're not sure if that was legit or if she then told Fisk that he was coming to set Luca up. So we can't tell. I mean, it almost seemed in this episode like they coordinated that, but I think we're meant to just keep wondering. But I did wonder, like, this is really fascinating to me. There's a metaphor. They've been playing with the Adam and Eve metaphor when it comes to Adam. We already saw Fisk get tested because he could have killed Adam and didn't. Then he gave Adam that axe in a previous episode, and said, "Hey, come at me, come kill me, and you can be free." Well, Adam, I guess you could say, failed that test because he
Yeah.
tried to kill Fisk. Then we thought Fisk killed him, but it turns out that bone crunching and neck crunching means nothing in
Yeah,
this
I was
series.
going to mention that. You need to stop making that neck break sound when people land on their head. That's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
sound of death.
I think they're just trying to make it sound intense,
Well,
but
pick a different
yes, it
sound
misleads
because
you into
that.
thinking a character's dead.
Nah,
You
you
know,
hear that cracking, and it's like his neck's broke. Oh
Yeah.
no, it's not. He's
if
fine.
any part of my body made that sound, I would never walk again.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a mistake on that part. That's cheap.
That's
you know?
twice. We're like,
Yeah.
oh, he's dead. Oh no,
Yeah,
he's back.
yeah. But so
Nice of you.
then you could say that Fisk passed the test if you're looking at the Adam and Eve metaphor, because I mean he says to Vanessa in this episode, "I am better than I was." And you guys have been telling me that you think he's really trying to be better. Well, now I'm like, dang, maybe he was like he's still really corrupt. He's incrementally better, but like he passed the test. So then he gives her the choice of set Adam free. There's a key there on the table, or shoot at him. There's a gun there. And she picks up the gun. So, looking at the Adam and Eve metaphor, like she's Eve failing the test. So, that could be the moment that she does become the real kingpin and she rises to power. But I wondered if that'll mean that she becomes the real villain, or if you're thinking about the Adam and Eve metaphor, that ends in exile, right? So then I thought, well, maybe she's going to get exposed for hiring Bullseye to try to kill Fisk, and she's going to be exiled. She's going to be on the run from him. He's going to feel betrayed, so he's going to either be really depressed or he's going to go on a rampage. I don't know, but I know they've been playing with that Adam and Eve metaphor, and it's just interesting that the choice she gave him, but or he gave her.
Mm-hmm.
So I still didn't know though if she just killed Adam because she's so afraid of what Fisk might do, because you always see that fear in her face, and you never know if she's just stressed by the situation or I don't know. If we don't know anything about her before, Fisk's relationship with her. Like, I don't know that she was a criminal before
She
him or
was just
not.
an art dealer, right?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, maybe she was a shady art dealer, but like,
She
I don't
fell in
know.
pretty easily.
Yeah,
It did.
yeah,
She's
she really
one.
did.
She's like,
It didn't
"Oh,
take
I'm here."
long for her to join in. She loves power, and that's what it is. So
Mhm.
yeah,
And he was taking her power
right.
and
He had it. He took it.
redistributing
She
it,
wants
or
it back.
yeah,
That's
changing
why
her plan.
I'm convinced that she set that up for Fisk to be assassinated.
Yeah, I the more I think about it, I'm kind of leaning that way myself. But this show is going to try to pull the rug out of any theater, or it's going to try to pull the rug out from under any theory we come up with.
Mhm.
Yeah. I think Cashman's in on it too. I think Cashman's actually working for Vanessa.
Buck,
And- Huh?
Buck,
Yeah, Buck. Yeah.
He's a little shady anyway, isn't he?
Yeah. So I think he's doing that, and then so I think he'll get found out too, and that's when Daniel Blake, the young kid who's working his way up with Fisk, who's supposed to be an alien, I think he'll end up rising to that point.
He's going to be like Fisk Jr.
Maybe he is some kind of plant, and season 2 we'll actually come to find out that he's a good guy working his way back in, and he's actually, I don't know, because like he said in the comic books, he's an alien, so I don't know what they're doing with him here.
I don't know.
All I know is I hate the guy.
Yeah, I don't like him either.
He's
Kind of annoying.
He's
I don't
not
like
an
the
adequate
character.
replacement for Wesley.
Yeah. So I
Wait,
mean, the actress
who are we
doing a
talking
very
about?
good job of portraying.
We talking about Buck or
Daniel?
Daniel?
Yeah.
Oh, I hate that guy. But I gotta give props to the actor because he's playing him so well that you hate him. And now I have a feeling that every time I see this actor, I'm gonna go, oh, it's that guy.
Yeah. That's how I felt about John Bernthal for a while.
Mhm.
Because
He's
of
such a good
Walking
bad
Dead.
guy. That's all
Oh,
I
yeah.
can see you as now.
Oh, that's I always talk about. I can't think of the actress's name, but the first 2 seasons of watching the Orville, whenever the doctor was a main part of the episode, I skipped it. Not because
funny.
it was a bad character, but because the actress was Mrs. Palmer in the first few seasons of 24, and she was such a horrible person in those shows, and she played it so well that whenever I saw her as an actress, I just hated her.
Oh, I get that.
So, I mean, I finally got over it, but there for a while, it's just like, it's about her.
Do we know what case Foggy was working on before he died?
We don't. That's the thing.
All we know is Bullseye got sent to take out a witness, his key witness, right? So supposedly he was celebrating early that he was going to win this big case unless somebody silenced him. So that's where Matt believes, oh, it must have been Vanessa. I feel like that's a pretty... I'm not sold that that's right. Do you think he's making a leap there, or do you think she really is behind that?
I mean, not knowing what the case is, it's hard to say, because like, how would he just automatically jump to her? Like, oh, it had to be her then. Well, did it have something to do with her, with this business? Did it have? I mean, we don't know what the case was, so
So it's not just me. The show hasn't given us the evidence yet.
not
right?
that I've seen.
Well, I mean, up until when Bullseye tried to kill Fisk, that's when it made me think, okay, so Poindexter or Bullseye is working for Vanessa, and Foggy was working on something that would have hurt her or her business. So she hired Poindexter to take him out. And then, and he's in jail before Fisk showed up. So, now it's like, oh, Fisk is here. We need him dead too. So if you can get out, let's take care of it.
Yeah. Yeah, it is interesting. So surely they're going to tell us more to connect Vanessa to this case in the next episode.
They better, because it's the last episode of the season.
Yeah. Well, do you think that what they showed in this episode removes the possibility that Foggy faked his death?
Foggy's gone. He ain't coming back.
Okay, because I after
Doug
this
doesn't
episode,
agree.
I'm like,
He thinks he's coming back.
I think the character was too good.
Yeah,
he was a good character.
The actor was too good. Yeah, they're missing that little
fun factor.
And we were, before we jumped on, we were talking about it with Drew, and I see it, but Drew's not enjoying this season as much as he is enjoying season 1. And in season 1, you had Foggy, and Foggy was that little bit of humor that Marvel has become known for. Now, granted, they've gone way overboard, Love and Thunder, and some of the humor stuff and everything, but that's what Marvel is. Marvel isn't the Dark Knight. And I'm not ripping on the Dark Knight at all. I love the Dark Knight series, trilogy and everything like that. But Marvel has always been the kind of serious but goofy throw in, quip here during the serious part and things like that. And every once in a while, Matt will say something funny, but he's not Foggy Nelson.
It's dry.
Right? Yeah, you need that little bit of humor. And even if they started the season with like, okay, we just need you to come back, shoot this one scene, and then we're done with you. You can go do Mighty Ducks 4 or whatever. I think they're going to realize we probably should have kept Foggy around and find some way to bring him back, especially since this has happened in the comic books. So whether they meant to or not, I think they have to at this point bring Foggy back.
Yeah. I mean, they can write it in as he faked his death because he knew. Well, no, that wouldn't work, because I was going to say, like, I faked it so they could finish this trial and get this person put away, but obviously that's not going to work because that didn't happen. So,
Oh.
like, why would he fake his death?
Well,
You know what I was
For what
thinking
purpose?
when they talk about, oh, he was drinking the wrong drink that night. I was thinking, oh man, it wasn't him. It was a double. And I was like, how would they pull that off in a realistic universe? And you know, that guy earlier in the episode said, oh, maybe it was a scroll. Maybe Foggy was a scroll that night.
I keep forgetting about the scrolls. They keep throwing those in there. I hope not, because the scroll thing seems like, well, here's how we can fix it. We screwed this up again. Bring in the scrolls.
Yeah,
But,
he should
what I was
be
gonna
gone.
say, what I was gonna say real quick is all we know is Foggy died. What else went on with that case? We may come back to find out that his main witness was murdered, and they have an idea to do something else, but to do that, they're going to need more time, and you don't have more time. So what we need to do is find a way. You're about to be assassinated. Somebody knows this. I don't know. All right, now I'm lost. See, make him a scroll.
That's the only way to fix it, huh?
Make it a scroll.
I will laugh if that's
give
what
up.
they do. But like the scrolls, just I know it's the same universe, but it doesn't feel like it belongs in this show.
I can't see any way they do it. I mean, if they want to bring him back in like flashbacks, that's one thing.
I mean, there's probably a way to do it, but I don't think he's dead.
I think he's gone.
So I was also comparing him going off the rails, Daredevil going off the rails in this episode versus previous seasons, because he always kind of does this. I don't know if he did in season 3, but in 1 and 2, he gets real stressed and starts, hurting people more, pushing his friends away, having his relationship problems like he does with Heather here. But I do think that there's a distinction. There's a character growth from this season compared to previous seasons, because when he's dancing with Heather, he tells her that he's going to tell her what's going on. Like, I believe he's actually going to tell her that he's Daredevil when he says that. Yeah. So, like, I think, they're fighting, but he's not going to push her away because he wants to stay Daredevil and thinks he has to be alone this time. He's actually going to invite her into his world, which is why I was bummed when I thought, oh no, now they're going to shoot her. But also, I don't know if he would have taken a bullet for Fisk in that first season, maybe even second. So I do think, like, as much as he's struggling, he is becoming more of a hero. And I do think something to keep an eye on is his frustration with being a lawyer, because that is what makes him need to be Daredevil, because he's complaining about how, like, man, as lawyers, like, we're stuck babysitting chaos or something to that effect. And I almost wonder if he's going to get barred from being a lawyer, or he's going to walk away from it and, like, I don't know, join the Avengers or something. Like, this is one of their bright spots in the Marvel universe right now. It makes me wonder if they're going to try to find a way to bring him into the rest of the Marvel universe, because they already did it with Spider-Man. They did it with She-Hulk. I think that was a mistake. I watched those scenes on YouTube recently, and it's just not the same.
Which scenes? The one with the camera?
Well, when he's in the yellow
you mean Daredevil? Yeah.
And he's
I think
talking to She-Hulk, and they have a fight, and it just does not.
Yeah.
It was bad.
I'm hoping they retcon all that, figure out a way to wipe that, and nothing against, I can't remember her name, but the girl who played She-Hulk. She's a good actress, fairly famous, had a popular TV show there for a while, but yeah, I mean, she was the only reason I kept watching, truthfully. She wasn't horrible. It was the rest of the show that was horrible. So I wouldn't mind them bringing her back. Just don't bring back any of her friends.
Yeah, just do it quality.
Just do it her and nobody else.
Yes, I mean, Mark Ruffalo was in it a little bit. He was fine. They introduced his son, who was like 26 for some reason. And
Interesting.
yeah, and it was just like he didn't even say anything. He's just like, So I don't know. It's in a weird place right now. I'm glad Daredevil seems to be doing somewhat strong and
Yes, critic
do a
reviews
little bit
this
better.
season critic reviews are strong. I think audience enjoyment is strong. There seems to be a lot of hype around it. It's lower than you would expect, I think, because of the recent reputation of Marvel stuff, I think. But I hope that doesn't discourage them. We know there's one more episode of this season, and then there's supposedly 8 episodes of season 2 that they've already filmed, I think. So, because originally this was planned as an 18 episode thing. But I've seen some articles just about audience reception and views and how this is doing, and it's down compared to what they were expecting. But some of you got to be careful with these articles these days. They kind of spin it. They compared it to Agatha All Along, and I noticed that they had taken the 5-day total of Agatha All Along's debut and compared it to the 7-day total of Daredevil Born Again, and they were relatively close, and they were saying, "Oh, look how much better Agatha is doing. That means Daredevil's doing terrible." Well, you need to compare like 5 days to 5 days, you know?
Yeah.
So I think some of this is just hate on Marvel because of where they're at right now.
Well, I
But
mean,
this is a quality show. I know, Drew, it's not grabbing you, but it's different. I don't think they've delivered on the amount of action that they promised, because they swore they were gonna have less talking, more action. I don't see it that way.
I haven't seen that unless the
Maybe it's
next
the second
episode
half.
is 50 minutes of just 50 minutes of fight.
Well, I'll tell you what, the next
the get-go.
episode, I think, is going to have Punisher, because there were scenes in the trailer with him that have not been in an episode yet. So I almost wonder if Punisher's going to be ticked off that Matt got shot, because deep down they're bros, even though you can't tell when they're on screen. And he's going to come out of the woodwork, and they're going to run around and do cool stuff. So that's my theory.
Let's hope so. I mean, look, I mean, yeah, I would love to see more action too, but this story is, I mean, we've had 19 different theories over the past
I've loved it.
8 weeks. This person's bad. Oh, nope, that person's gone. Okay, this is going to, oh, nope, that didn't happen. I'm not perfect by any means, but I do pick up on things a lot when it comes to TV shows and movies. And I'm like, this is what's going to happen. And, yeah, I think I've said 3 or 4 things already that will not happen, can't happen, or whatever. So it's like, okay, this has got me guessing. So I'm enjoying the story. It's a really good story. I think we were coming in expecting more action, but I'm really liking the story.
Yeah, I mean,
and which I will say Marvel has struggled with over the past few years. I know they killed it with Deadpool, but that was already something that was going to blow up no matter what. So
I mean, I agree with Doug. I like the story aspect of it and figuring out who's doing what. I like all that stuff. But again, when I said like it's Daredevil, and we've not really seen Daredevil, so like I made the comparison. It's like watching Batman, but just Bruce Wayne. Like I need to see some Batman. So I need to see Daredevil.
Well, I think that's why they went with Reborn. I mean, this is kind of a re-origin story.
Yeah.
For Matt and Daredevil. Because I mean, that's the only reason they would use that, because I don't think anything's happened from the Born Again comic in this one. Still waiting to see Fisk show up as a sumo wrestler. But
yeah, but I would have thought like in 9 episodes by the 5th or 6th, we would have started getting back into
maybe
less talk, more action. But
here's a theory.
Got to get the story going.
I don't know if this is true or not, but you know how the director, the studio said, hey, there's going to be a lot more action and less talking, right? Maybe they said that around the time that they were developing it as 18 episodes. and they were thinking
And that could
about
be
that as the
too. I
back
mean, it
half.
could be this is the first half, and it gets going after season 2 is
working up
and
to
that
it.
could be it.
But if it's not, I think I'm still enjoying it. But they
Mhm.
were wrong about that.
Yeah.
This does not
And-
have more action than season
And,
1.
and series that are like this, where it's not a lot of action and it's a lot more storytelling and world building, it usually doesn't bother me. Except I loved Andor, and some people hated it because it was a lot of talking and not pew 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 all the time, But I loved it. And there are, I don't know, 12 episodes or something like that. But by the 6th, 7th episode, it started really picking up, and you started seeing more.
About
battles
halfway
and
through the
action.
season,
Halfway through,
which is where we're about to hit.
But when did season 2 come out?
Don't know.
Okay, so this is like season 1's got 9 episodes. That's why I was thinking, like, if this is your season, by episode 6, 7, we should start.
Yeah.
Well, like Nathan
Getting it
said,
going.
though,
But if
this
it's for
was not
18
their season. The original
Right.
season was supposed to be.
If it's supposed to be 18, then I can see where now it could really start, get going. But yeah, so it's not necessarily that there's not a lot of action that's keeping me off from it. I don't. But
I will say this
to
on
see something.
IMDb, it's showing season 2, episode 1, and it has 2026 next to it.
Oh man,
So we may be waiting a year.
Maybe Drew will be ready to watch it again by then.
I'll give it a shot. I mean, I'm not shutting it down, but I'll watch it.
Well, guys, if you want to see us cover the finale of this season, we'll be on a week from today. And we have
maybe
season
yesterday.
1.
Maybe yesterday.
Oh,
A week
Next
from
Wednesday.
yesterday. It's
Oh, yeah.
Thursday. We're a day behind. Sorry.
We'll be live next Wednesday. And we have season 1 episodes on our channel. So check that out. And we'll see you again soon.
Audio.